Happy New Year, fellow withdrawal warriors. I hope you are well. I got a card for you. You got this. You got this. I decided to make a video about, this is my 4-year anniversary of the beginning of my last withdrawal journey. The one that was terrible enough for me to make a YouTube channel about it and to spread the word and do the research and try to help other people. I was on 10 milligrams of Saffris. The generic is acenapine. That is an antipsychotic. It was prescribed off-label. If you don't know what off-label means, the FDA, at least in America, has an approval process and they approve drugs for specific purposes. And what the FDA approves Saffris for as a second-generation antipsychotic is for bipolar and schizophrenia, which I have not been diagnosed with. And I don't believe I have any symptoms of that, never have. So the point is, I took my last dose in 2019. I think it was the 28th or 29th, but today's close enough. And I actually anticipated having a little trouble sleeping because it would knock me out. If that is what it's like to be hit with a tranquilizer gun, that's got to be it. So anyway, so I was like, I'll take some melatonin. Maybe I'll need to take a Benadryl. And I found out, I don't know if the first day that I couldn't get to sleep or the second or third was when it hit me and I realized what it was. But I remember distinctly being in bed trying to get to sleep, and around that time I was going to bed around 10, and I heard noises outside and I was like, those must be fireworks. It must be midnight because it was New Year's Eve. And I looked at my phone for the time, and sure enough, it was midnight, and I was hearing fireworks, and I was like, this isn't normal. I went the first week. I don't remember sleeping, but if I did, I don't think it was more than 3 hours in the entire week. I don't know if you've tried going like a couple of days without sleep, but this was an entire week with virtually no sleep. And I had stuff to do. So I already had an appointment set up a while ago, or a while before that, I suppose as a follow-up, because I was tapering, and I might get into that taper schedule, but I had an appointment set up for the following week. I went and saw the psychiatrist and I told him what was going on. And he gave me the option of mirtazapine, which is another sedating antidepressant that I had been on before, or trazodone, which I had also been on before. So I suppose he thought it'd be safer to try something that I've been on before. I was in a desperate state, not thinking right or anything. Not only did I basically have no sleep for a week, I remember having a dentist appointment and feeling pressured to make that decision right there and then in the visit, instead of maybe thinking about it. I don't even know if that would have made a difference, but I went with the trazodone. By the way, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. Yeah, that first week off of Saffris completely I was just zapped. I was wrung dry. I had no energy. I didn't even know if it was because I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, the lethargy all through my body. It's a feeling I've never had before and I've never had since. It's a very unique feeling of being completely drained that I hope nobody has to go through. And if you are, that it passes very, very quickly. So yeah, that first week was really, really rough, but little did I know I had a lot more ahead of me. So I was prescribed up to 100 milligrams of trazodone, and they were in 50 milligram tablets. So I could take the first 50, and if that didn't work, up to 100. And that's what specifically said on the label, don't take more than 100 milligrams. So I think I took the 50 milligrams and it didn't work. So a little bit later in the same night, I took another 50 milligrams for a total of 100, and I slept. And I was singing the praises of the psychiatrist. I was so happy. I finally got my sleep. And if I'm not mistaken, the next night, it didn't work. I think the night after that, it did. So from what I recall, again, this was 4 years ago, but I've told this story many times. It worked not more than half of that first week. I'm pretty sure I got 3 nights of sleep. So now we're adding up 2 weeks of sleep. 2 weeks with about 3 nights of sleep. 3 out of 14, roughly. You do the math. So it kept going, the insomnia, just feeling horrible. I couldn't eat anything. So now we're going on, the math is pretty easy because it basically started on the first of the year. My 2020 was horrible from day one. I remember there being a family member's birthday party I went to on the 18th. So let's say it was like going on 2.5 weeks. And I was a wreck. I was an absolute wreck. I went to this birthday party and, it's a family gathering and people are feeling good and there's food everywhere. I was exhausted, sick to my stomach / no appetite. And I have person after person saying, go get a plate, go get something to eat. Like, what's wrong? And I ended up in the middle of a large family gathering bawling. I was at the end of my rope. Well, I thought I was, but I clearly went through this for just over a year. So hang in there. You may feel like you have nothing left, but believe me, there's more left. You may be running on fumes, but there's something left. So at some point, it might have been like the third weekend, after all that started, and it's so hard, at least in a small town like mine, there's nobody to call on the weekend. The office is closed. There's no after hours. There's nothing. I mean, when I was at that party, I was seriously considering going to the emergency room so they could give me something to knock me out. I mean, I was just done. So I called the office first thing Monday morning because I was up. And by the grace of God, somebody canceled and they slid me in. And I was prescribed 3 times what I was originally allowed to take. So now I'm prescribed 300 milligrams of trazodone. And that scared me. I don't have a lot of weight on me, and I didn't know at the time. That's like really hard to, overdose on trazodone, but regardless, that's a lot of drugs. So at some point, I think I took like 250 because they were again in like 50 milligram or maybe they were 100. It doesn't matter. I didn't take the full 300. It scared me. And I still didn't sleep. You guys, 250 milligrams of trazodone, and I still didn't sleep. So I called the nurse the next day, and I was encouraged to take all 300 milligrams because the doctor said it was okay. And that, my friends, was the only thing that gave me sleep for the next month until I decided I had enough wherewithal in me to try cutting back on trazodone. And it started, I don't know if you call it phase 2 of this withdrawal, debacle, disaster, dumpster fire. I know I might sound really dramatic, you guys, because I know that people have gone through so much worse. But I don't play the suffering Olympics, so I'm not trying to win a gold medal over here. It was my experience. So I'll stop it right there. I already have a testimony video, and I might, make some more with more detail. Those other 2 were actually kind of a flyover, as long as they may be, and still in 2 parts. But the point is, I got through it. And I know it can be frustrating when it seems like nobody around you can relate, and then even if somebody has gone through it, no 2 people are alike. But, I just can't help think this time of year how and when that journey started. But I like to fast forward the story in my mind to when I was finally done. So that would mean January, the second week of January 2021, I took my last dose of trazodone. I micro-tapered with a scale. I have a video on how I did that and how you can too. And it was the size of a breadcrumb. And every medical professional, every person thought I was crazy that I was tapering down to such a small amount. But you know what? That's what it took. And do what it takes. I want to hear your testimony. Please comment and encourage each other. And don't forget, you got this. I love you guys. I'll keep you in my prayers. And Jesus loves you.